I've been struggling with a binge eating disorder for over 13 years now. And if you clicked on this video because you want to hear from someone who is fully recovered, that's not me yet. But something interesting happened this past year. I spent 8 out of the last 12 months completely binge-free. And before this past year, I had never gone more than 21 days without binging. So what that tells me is I'm onto something. The last year is proof that I'm headed in the right direction. And I can sit here and get down on myself about how this year didn't go perfectly and how the last couple months have been really difficult, and be upset that I can't sit here today and say that I'm fully recovered, because that would be a lie. But as I reflect on the last year, I'm choosing to celebrate the wins, because the fact that I was able to go so many months without harming myself with food, and I was able to have many days where food noise wasn't completely occupying my mind, is a tremendous success. And this year has been proof to me that recovery is possible. It is going to take some time, but I'm on my way. Over the years, YouTube has been such an important resource for me in finding connection and finding other people who have also struggled with binge eating disorder. It's the one place that has really made me feel like I'm not alone in this. And so it's my hope in this series that I can share my story, and I want to share everything that I've learned during my binge eating recovery journey. And I hope that over time, this can be a place that others who struggle can go to find that support and connection that I was always looking for. And my other goal in sharing this is shedding light, because for me at least, binge eating has been such a isolating activity, and it's the isolation and the hiding that allows this disorder to get worse and worse over time for me personally. So in a way, sharing this story with whoever finds it on YouTube is a way to put an end to the hiding. In the last month and a half or so, I have had a lot of success, and I did want to share a couple of new things that I'm trying and that have been working for me most days. I recently read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he talks a lot about creating good habits, but he also talks a lot about how to break a bad habit. And this really spoke to me and started getting me thinking about how I can apply his framework to the habit of binge eating that I no longer wanted in my life. And I simplified this down a little bit more. So instead of how do I stop binge eating, I started to focus on how do I stop ordering from food delivery apps? Because for me, that is the start of most of my binge eating episodes. So if I could find a way to stop ordering from food delivery apps, then maybe that could put an end to most, if not all, of my binge eating. James Clear's method for how to break a bad habit has 4 laws, and I've become focused on the 3rd law, which is increase friction. Increase the number of steps between you and the bad habit. And like I said, I've been binge eating for years, so I've heard the advice of delete the apps or remove your payment information from the delivery apps or log out of your delivery apps a million times. But unfortunately, that approach really has never worked for me. Even following all of those steps, it really never gave me the pause or was enough to really get me to stop and think about my actions before continuing on to log in, re-download, or put my payment information in to order something. It just wasn't enough. So I started trying to figure out a way to basically make it impossible for myself to use these apps. And I searched online, I read through Reddit, I've even tried to find information in YouTube videos before about how I could do this, and it is really difficult. These delivery apps want to make it as simple as possible for you to access them and to continue being a customer. So it's not easy to just block yourself from them. But I did find an app called the Freedom app. The Freedom app is meant to be a productivity app. So its main goal is to block certain websites at certain time periods so that people can be more productive. But I wanted to use this app to block myself from the food delivery apps 24/7. And the app does allow that. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, what's to stop you from just ending the block session? And the Freedom app has thought of that. There's a feature called a lock mode, which makes it impossible to edit your block list when you're in a session. And there's another option to end the lock mode session once a week, but the Freedom app does allow you to even disable that. The app also has an uninstall feature, so as far as I know, I can't just delete the app from my phone. So, with all that, a 24/7 block list on all of the main food delivery apps and specific food websites that I would constantly use, I've essentially put in place a 24/7 block on all the major food delivery apps and food websites that I would commonly visit for delivery. And I just want to explain, none of this means that I can't have those foods, because a really important part of my recovery the past couple years has been adopting the mindset that I can have whatever food I want. The reason why I have wanted to block the food delivery apps and my access to them is because there's something about ordering food online. There's no human interaction involved. It's so thoughtless. You can do it in an instant. So now by blocking those sites and apps, I can still go get the food, but it dramatically changes the way the meal plays out. So if I have to get out of bed, get off the couch, get dressed, call to place an order, or drive to the store and then place an order, that's human interaction. That in itself is cutting off the isolation that feeds binge eating disorder, at least for me. Now, there very well might be loopholes to this app that I am blissfully unaware of, but for now, it's been working really well. I've been able to use the app on my cell phone as well as my laptop, and anytime I've tried to click on a delivery app or go to a website that I've blocked, a message comes up that says, "You are free. Enjoy this moment." Now, this app alone didn't work for me because I do have access to a computer that I use for work. And while the Freedom app did work really well for me for a few weeks, when something happened that made me highly emotional, I immediately went looking for that same self-soothing that I'm always looking for in binge eating. And so what happened was I used my work computer to place a food delivery order. And once that binge eating episode ended, I came back, I reflected, and I figured out, okay, what's the next step here? The idea of eliminating access to these delivery apps does seem to work for me. So I just need to strengthen the wall and continue working towards eliminating that access. So from here, I was able to go onto that laptop, visit all of the websites that I would commonly use to place food delivery orders, And I began one by one going into the websites and changing my email address and or password for each of my profiles. And then once I had changed the email address for all of my profiles on these delivery apps, I was then able to go to that email inbox and create a random password that I would never be able to remember. So basically, if I tried to sign into one of these apps or food delivery website, I A, didn't know the password to the website anymore, and B, if I tried to use their recovery method, they would try to send an email to my email inbox, which I also no longer had the password for. So I've effectively created new blocks so that I can't access the delivery apps. And for a couple of them, they really only use your phone number as a means to sign you in. And so in that case, I went ahead and logged myself out of those websites. And when I tried to sign back in, they sent me a text for like a one-time passcode. And I blocked those phone numbers that they use to text you the one-time PIN. And I realized those phone numbers that they use probably update every once in a while, but for now, it blocks my access to sign into those apps. And if you're watching this and this sounds really extreme or confusing or like jumping through a lot of hoops, it is. But when you've been struggling with something like this for so long and wanting to recover so badly and want to remove this pain point from your life, you will go to extreme lengths to do that. And if you're someone who is watching and struggles in the same way that I do, then I hope one of these tips can help you in your journey.